Hi, everyone. This is Philip with Incredible Fathers. Just had a few thoughts that I wanted to share with you in regards to a story that I heard today from my brother. And it was a very powerful story, and it really touched my heart. And I wanted to share it with you because I thought it would really benefit you. My brother's a great example of what a good father should be. He has a wonderful wife, a wonderful marriage, and three wonderful children. And he takes really good care of them. He also takes really good care of his patients. He's a doctor of physical therapy, and he works in conjunction with a hospital and a medical group. And he had an experience here recently where, with the COVID-19 virus that's been going on, there's just been a lot of stress on medical professionals to uphold a high standard and make sure everything's sanitary and clean and make sure no one's infected and everyone's well taken care of. And there's a lot of stress on them because there's not as many people at the clinic working, and so they have heavy loads, or when people come in, they're stressed out. So my brother had this experience just this last week where he had a patient come in. This patient had a fall accident where they had fallen off their front steps and badly broken their leg, and the leg was broken in multiple points where a surgeon had to go in there and actually do surgery on the leg to help get the bones back into the right position so it could heal up. And with all of the issues that have been going on with the coronavirus and everything, this patient who lived in a rural area wasn't able to get the care as quickly as they needed to. And so when this patient showed up in my brother's waiting room, he could tell that she was in bad shape. The leg was just very badly swollen. In fact, he said the foot was so swollen you couldn't tell that it was a foot. And he could tell that the patient smelled really bad and hadn't bathed for a long time. And my brother was tired, and in the back of his mind he said, you know what, I can just take my measurements and see where she's at and do my notes and move on. And he didn't want the inconvenience of having to deal with this problem because he knew it was going to be a problem. But then he said, I said a prayer and I prayed for help, that God would help me. And he said my heart was softened, and I had this patient come back, and we got her out of the wheelchair, and I got her onto a physical therapy bed and had her stretch out her leg. And he said he took off a lot of the cast and bandaging that was still left over from the surgery almost 8 weeks ago that hadn't been treated and hadn't been washed. And my brother went through and he took all that bandaging off, all the bandages off and all the casts and everything, and removed that. And he cleaned this woman's legs, and there was a lot of dead scaly skin on there, and it just smelled horrible. And my brother cleaned it all up, and he even cleaned in between her toes and just cleaned everything up. And while he was doing this, the woman just started crying because it had been 8 weeks and no one had been able to take care of her. She hadn't been able to get her appointments, and she had a hard time getting people to take her to her appointments. Her husband wasn't able to bend down and clean her leg for her or anything, and she wasn't able to get in-home care. And so it was a tough situation. But my brother did all of this for her. Instead of a normal quick appointment of maybe 20, 30 minutes, it turned into an appointment of an hour and 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And he took care of her leg, and he actually did some special massage on it to help reduce the swelling. And he told her, she said, you know, it's been 8 weeks now. You can actually start putting weight on this leg again. And the doctors had told her previously not to put any weight on it because it needed to recover, and because it was such a severe fracture. And she was so relieved that she could put weight on it again. And so he started training her on how to put weight on it again and what exercises to use to help regain mobility in that leg and to make a full recovery. And so it turned into this incredible experience for my brother where he was able to make this massive impact upon this patient's life. And she was just so relieved to have someone to take care of her. And my brother really went the extra mile to take care of her, which was beyond the scope of what he was required to do, but he did the right thing, and he gave her the care that she needed, and he was fully qualified to give that care. And now I tell you this story because as a father, you're going to have experiences like that where you're going to have days when you don't feel like giving your children the care that they deserve, but you need to do it, and you have to find it within yourself to do it. And sometimes it really requires a prayer to Heavenly Father or to God to be able to do that. So my challenge to you and to myself as well is to, when you get in those situations where you're inconvenienced, but there's a need, to take the time to address it and to fully realize what needs to be done. And to be more like my brother, who took the time and made the preparations and covered all the bases and providing the right level of care and just ministering to the person in just a very special way. But this was a very touching story. And as my brother shared this story, he became pretty emotional as he was sharing it. But it was a special experience for him, and he grew from that experience. And so if you want to become an incredible father, be willing to be inconvenienced and to be able to serve others, especially your children and your wife and those that are close to you, as well as people that you don't know, and even people at work who you come in contact with. And it'll make you a better man, it'll make you a better person, it'll make you a better father. But those are my thoughts, and I wanted to share them with you, and I hope this video has been beneficial for you. If it has, please share it with someone else so that they can experience it and benefit